Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another weekend update video, and this weekend we're going to talk War of the Visions, specifically kind of my plan for War of the Visions next week. We're going to take a look at Honkai Star Rail. We're going to talk about how much money both of those games made last month. I got some data to show you in that case, and then I'm just going to talk about content creators and tier lists a little bit more, just give you some of my feelings on all that stuff. So let's dive in. Now, first of all, I want to start with War of the Visions. I pulled King Bradley, and anybody who watched those pull videos watched me go all the way to pity on that guy, and it was a little bit rough, right? Like, I really didn't want to have to go to pity. I've been collecting shards all week. I've yet to spend any more Visior gathering his shards. I want to try to start building my Visior back up naturally as much as I can without having to wail so much. The LB5 is 147 out of 200, so it's very close. Here's my plan for Bradley. I'm going to keep collecting shards today. I'm going to collect as many shards as I can get tomorrow. Then Monday on the live stream, I'm going to not only 140 him, I'm going to max reincarnate him live on the stream. So if you want to watch that happen, my plan is do that live Monday. With the normal stuff I do, then build an arena team and a Guild Wars team around a fully beefed out King Bradley. So that's kind of my plan for War of the Visions next week. The rest of my War of the Visions plan will depend on the news, and we'll see all that in the morning. I just wanted to give you guys the update on Bradley. That's how he's going. I'm trying. I'll drop some viz tomorrow if he's not done, but tomorrow's the big day, right? That's when arena resets, so he's going to be the bonus unit. I need to get him into my Guild Wars team. I got plenty of Mind Spheres. I just need those last 50 some shards to get him done. So that's the update there. Fun week of War of the Visions coming for me and other Bradley enjoyers. Okay, next up, let's switch over to the Honkai Star Rail account for a minute, and I just hit a big milestone in this game right up here, Equilibrium level 3. Finally got this. I almost had it yesterday, but I actually max energy refreshed with gems. I was a little bit short, so I walked into today. Now I can go ahead, transcend all my people again. I'm going to be focusing first on Japard, or Ascend. So I need to farm some of this stuff out. This is really easy stuff to farm, guys. These Ascension materials, like these blue ones right here, super easy to farm. So that's something I'm going to be working on today, get him ascended. And then once I do, I have his trace materials ready to rock. I've been farming those a little bit. I'll have to farm a little bit more with my energy, but he's one of my first focuses. And then obviously Sela is going to be the other one. I've been farming a little bit of her stuff as well. Again, some of this blue stuff like this, super easy to just go farm in the open world, so not too worried. Mostly I'm just excited that now I can begin some of that like true end game content. I'm running different teams than a lot of the other content creators who have gotten to end game are. Like, there's a lot of hyper carry Sela teams out there where it's just her and 3 supports, and yes, that's really cool, but it feels overdone. I haven't seen too many like big like high-end Japard teams yet. That's my most fun one that I'm looking forward to. And then let me show you like the second team that I'm setting up, since I accidentally pulled Bailu's card the other day. She's definitely going on team 2 with my Trailblazer Fire. Then I have like Hook's gonna be on that team, and Asta. I'm gonna go with like this fire based team, try to set up some burns to kind of amplify Hook's damage and run a hyper carry Hook fire team with Bailu kind of mixing in there as a healing support. That's going to be really fun. So that's where this account is. There's still so much for me to do in this game. I've cleared the story. I'm at the end of that. It's really cool. Now, and like a little bit of a spoiler here, I shall avoid spoilers, but Kafka kind of explains what's going on in this game. And there was a trailer that the company dropped. Like, Hoyo dropped a live video, a YouTube video today, talking about kind of the story of Honkai Star Rail. And you see just how epic the scale of this game eventually will be. There's so much more to do in this game. So I'm done with all the content that's out right now, eagerly awaiting more. But it's time for me now to get to like in-game gear farming, pushing the in-game modes. Super pumped for all of that. So that's my Honkai Star Rail update. Now, I want to switch to this screen right here. Let me push the button. Let me get a button that works. There we go. So this screen here, and I want to talk about how much money War of the Visions and Honkai Star Rail made last month. So this info is from Sensor Tower. It's a website that just posts this stuff. Do keep in mind, and they put a disclaimer about this at the bottom, that they can't gather info from Android China. So Chinese versions of these games, like you see over here, it says like Chinese version, global version, Japanese version. You're gonna have to add a little bit more to that. It says it's roughly 3 times. For games, for some games that's true, but for games with a PC client like Honkai Star Rail, might not necessarily be. Anyway, let's just look at these numbers. We'll start with Honkai Star Rail, because this is one that a lot of content creators were talking about, and some people looked at this number. So global and Chinese version both posted $20 million that they made last month. Keep in mind, that is for 1 week of last month. When this game came out, what were there, 5-6 days left in the month? I don't remember. It came out on like the 25th. So was there 5.5 days? Something like that. It's basically 1 week, right? Let's just round it to a week. We'll be generous. Other charts, like this chart that has the Final Fantasy and the Square Enix games on it, doesn't have Genshin Impact for some reason, but Genshin posted like 40-some million last week, and so people were like, oh my gosh, that's such a bad thing. Honkai Star Rail in its first month didn't make as much as Genshin Impact did in its first month. Guys, wait. Genshin Impact was out the whole month and made 40-some million. And in fact, it ended the month on a bit of a whimper. Like the last banner that came out for Genshin did not do particularly great. So Honkai Star Rail earned 20 million in less than a week. Genshin earned 40 in a month. So Honkai crushed Genshin in the last week of last month. I've probably mixed those words up a little bit, like I do. Either way, all I wanted to say is this is a very good number for the first week of a game. Keep in mind, a lot of people, since we knew what the second banner's gonna be, and since we knew what the third and fourth character, Kafka's out there, a lot of people are waiting to whale until the character they're looking for drops, and a lot of people wait to whale until they realize they like the game, which I think a lot of people are firmly in that camp now. Honkai Star Rail did very, very good its first week by earning $20 million in the global and Chinese version. And again, the Chinese number going to be a little higher than that. I doubt it's 60 million, but it's probably 40 or 50. I'm just speculating there. Anybody would be. Okay, now let's look at War of the Visions. This is a really interesting one. So War of the Visions, you have a JP version and a global version. Typically speaking, the JP version outperforms the global version, but keep in mind, games like War of the Visions do better at Anniversary and better during big collaborations and worse in those lull times. So if you look at the global version of the game, right, we are right here. We were just coming out of a lull about 2 and 3 months ago, where they're kind of like, we were looking forward to the Anniversary, no huge collabs dropping, and we actually went under $1 million in February, right? 900K for the global version, and the JP version made 1.7 million. Okay, now the JP version was coming off of huge months during their anniversary, where you're like 4 million, 3 million, 4 million. That's really big for a War of the Visions. It's a 3-year-old game, right? But then the anniversary hits for global, and global actually beats JP 2 months ago on March. We beat JP by 200K, all right, 1.7 million, and then we were very competitive this last month, making another 1.6 million to JP's 1.8. Now, I do expect global to slide into a little bit of a lull in earnings again, as people see Final Fantasy V coming out, see all of the Final Fantasy reruns coming out. Guys, I'm just telling you, like, global War of the Visions, and people ask me all the time, why do we do so many collaborations? Why are there like all of the, like, they ask about banners and stuff. Hey, the developers are looking at what makes them the most money. Collaborations just make a killing in this game compared to what they make just on a regular week-to-week basis. Personally, seeing these like 1.7, 1.6 million dollar numbers, I'm happy with that. Global War of the Visions is doing as good as it has been doing for a while. Would it have been cool to see a $2.53 million number for the 3-year anniversary? Yes, but this game's been out for 3 years. This is a global gacha game out for 3 years. That's good. War of the Visions has already had a successful run as a global mobile game, and it's not tailing off really. So I think we're in for at least another good year. I hope, hey, I just want to say, like, I know there is this, like, let me just tell you about something that I think is the cringiest thing right now. Like, look, if you're a free-to-play player, I think that's fantastic. If you want to be a free-to-play player, that is absolutely your choice. If you don't want to spend money in games, great. But understand that, like, that does not make you better than other people. And in fact, the games that you're playing for free do not exist if people do not spend money in them. Now, you definitely don't have to spend as much money as I do, and I definitely don't spend as much money as some of the huge whales do. And in fact, I would say War of the Visions right now is a little too expensive for my taste with all the 100 cost units. Like, 100 cost is kind of becoming the normal. 100 cost rates needs to go up. Like, 100 cost rates need to turn into like what normal rates are, and then our normal rates maybe need to go up. Some kind of adjustment needs to happen. We'll see. Like, they don't ask me, but still, thank you. I'm bringing all that up. Thank you to everybody who, like, reasonably supports gacha games. And you know what? If you're somebody who's sitting on piles of money and what you do for fun is pull in gacha games, thank you for taking your massive amount of wealth and supporting the games that I play. I wish they were less expensive. Of course I do. I have a family. I have rent to pay right now, mortgage to pay later, cars to pay off, insurance. I got all the bills that everybody else does. And I would love to, you know, send a little bit more of my money to the bank. But our games that we play do not exist without the people who support them. So for the people who do, thank you from me, since a lot of times it feels like the companies don't just, you know, say thanks enough. So there's that. Anyway, that's my little rundown. That's my thoughts for this week. I did want to touch on tier list for a second. With a game like Honkai Star Rail that's out right now, and there are so many content creators for this game. Let me tell you about what I think is the lamest take in content creation. That tier lists either suck or are pointless, or some kind of like hate on tier lists. And then I'm going to double down on that take by telling you the worst kind of content that gets made, where people like make content where they're like, man, you guys, tier lists are crap. And so I'm now going to make videos reacting to other tier lists and then follow that up by making my own tier list. Like, what the, like, look, you are playing all the sides here. You're just pandering at that point to people who like both like and don't like tier lists. Guys, look, these like YouTube channels, online communities are just that. Tier lists are fun. People like to watch them. That is why content creators make tier lists, by the way. Full stop. Here's why content creators make tier lists. They get the most views. Now, I personally think I haven't felt like I could or have needed to make another tier list for Honkai Star Rail yet. I probably will as the next banner gets closer, especially because the PlayStation version of the game I think is coming out then. I think I read that somewhere, but those players will want to see an upgraded tier list. It's a good time to drop one, especially now that I have a better feel for the game. So I'll try to time it where it'll get a bunch of views, because that's really important for my channel. Getting more subscribers is important. That's why people make tier lists. That's why people make videos talking about how they hate tier lists while showing tier lists. Because even though they're just pandering to people who like hate tier lists, they're also doing tier list videos for people who like them. I just think it's a lame take, personally. So that's my thought on that. There it is. Okay, so thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a great week coming up. I hope you're enjoying whatever games you are playing. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.